What's up, board game people? It's that time of the month again. It's time to look back at the previous month, see what all I pledged for and why, see what I've been playing and painting, and hear a little behind the scenes antics from the channel. This has been a busy month, and while I met some of the goals I set out for myself, others are still a work in progress. But you know what? It's all good because I actually painted something this month. These videos tend to be a little on the longer side, so do some housework or take the dogs for a walk while you watch and enjoy. Before we begin, let's get the usual out of the way. All opinions are my own. I make these videos for gamers like you and me, and I don't receive any money from game companies for making them. If I get something wrong or we disagree about something, let me know in the comments and we'll discuss. If you like this kind of board gaming and hobby content, please make sure to subscribe, hit that bell, and leave us a like. It helps our channel grow and reach more of you amazing people. Let's take a look at what arrived at my doorstep this month. It was a slow month in this department, but a few things made it to me. First up, we have a complete surprise. There was no packaging picture here because I opened it not knowing what it was. I thought it was a regular piece of mail. A week or two after getting my Uprising, Curse of the Last Emperor late pledge in, this was left in my mailbox. This wasn't something I'd paid for, and it was a total surprise. I always love freebies, but this Blessings card pack was awesome. And of course, I backed the Titans of the First Age expansion, so once I had this, I was able to remove that pack from my pledge. What an awesome gift. Thank you so much, Nemesis Games. Next, I subscribed to the Battle Systems newsletter, and I saw with the last one that they were offering leftover pledge items from the Core Space Firstborn Kickstarter that were being stored in local hubs for sale at a good discount. I mailed them and let them know that I'd take one of each pack that they had left at the US warehouse, and the reply came in that they had everything that they had offered in the Kickstarter. It wasn't quite as good of a deal as backing during the campaign, but it was likely the best deal I'll be able to find on these. I'm looking forward to Maladum, and Core Space is also on my list, so this was a great way to start that collection. I can't wait to get some time to get these unboxed and built. I just need to figure out a storage solution for it before building. If anyone has some suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Last is the big one. I was obsessively tracking this monster as it moved across the country and all the while trying to find a way to introduce it to my wife without her making me sleep in the garage with it for the next month. The Elegoo Jupiter is enormous, and the crate it came in was, well, quite impressive as well. The UPS guy that delivered it was not amused, and I thanked him profusely, but I'm pretty sure he was cursing my name as he drove away. This bugger was supposed to be housed under the CNC in the garage, but as luck would have it, the table was 2 inches too short, and there was no safe way to make it fit. So I made a deal. I'd get rid of my tiny little Mars Pro, and the Jupiter would take up residence in the game room where it used to live. Thankfully, sleeping in the game room hasn't been so bad. I kid, she actually took it all in stride, and I owe her one Sylvanus statue, which is in progress now. Now let's take a look at what I backed this month. It was a busy month for both Kickstarter and GameFound, and in the late backing pledge managers. In fact, it was pretty brutal. I'm glad June is looking to be a bit slower. First up, I went ahead and locked in my late pledge for Nova Aestus Renaissance. They're getting closer and closer to actual production, and like most companies, they'll likely lock the pledges when they start printing items and producing miniatures. So I didn't want to miss out, and I went ahead and locked in. I got pretty much everything with the Titan pledge, the Collector's Bundle, the Medicio, and Draco. This game has a setting that's a true love of mine, and the characters that I don't want to miss. I just hope the writing for the campaign lives up to its promise. Next is a game that almost snuck by me completely. The Zerywia Reprint and the Zerywia Quest looks to be an awesome sleeper of an adventure board game. The game itself is packed with content in amounts I rarely see in adventure games, and there are unique mechanics in place that the board game takes total advantage of and puts to great use. And the game is hitting a mature state where many of the role issues and kinks should be firmly worked out. For this campaign, I grabbed the Collector's Edition at the Allfather pledge. I'll be adding the Matt and the Nyx expansion and the Primeval Soul expansions, which should amount to just about everything from the campaign. This is one that really captured my attention as I was covering it, and I was actively following it throughout the end of the campaign. I can't wait to see where they take this game in the future. This month, I also backed the Waste Knights Beyond the Horizon expansion. I added Waste Knights to my list after first seeing it, but knowing this expansion was on the way, I bided my time. I grabbed the Scourge of the Land and Sea pledge so I could get the core game and pretty much everything that came with it, as well as the new expansion. I'll be double-checking the pledge manager to make sure I don't miss anything. The post-apocalyptic survival theme in the Australian outback, dashed with the Mad Max motif, really got my attention. I love that they're continuing to expand their world. This is one I'm excited to table when it finally arrives. The last current campaign I pledged for this month was Escape from Stalingrad Z. It was a bit of an impulse, and I really didn't do a ton of research on it. I like the small play size, and it looks like something that would be great for quick setup and teardown. I like the minis, and I hope to get around to painting them. On this one, I grabbed the Escape from Stalingrad Z Deluxe Pack. Next up, I finally secured a pledge for Oathsworn. More correctly, I bought someone else's pledge for the core, the armory, and the terrain box. I got this at a pretty good deal, and now I just have to actually hope that they change the address and it makes it here soon. This is one game I'll not be able to hold back on. It may hit my table pretty much as soon as it arrives. That means you'll be getting coverage of it from me very quickly, so it's a win-win. I finally locked in my late pledge for Mythwind this month. I went all in on this one. Easy enough. I'm hoping my wife will like this one, as she's been eyeing Stardew Valley again. Last, I grabbed a late pledge for Fractal Beyond the Void. We missed out on Stellaris, and I wanted something in that category. Pluses here were the automated 3rd and 4th player, and we like the legacy-style campaign, and that should keep various playthroughs spicy and full of new experiences and challenges. Fractal has an art style that's really clean and reminds me of Unsettled a bit. Our next section is what I canceled or what I skipped. Thankfully this month, nothing had to be canceled or skipped by me. But sadly, though, Euthia was cancelled mid-campaign and has left a hole. I truly hope that we see Dia Games come back stronger than ever and that they're able to bring their vision to life in the future. So what's left in my Game Found and my Hypothetical cart? This month there are pretty much only 3 items remaining in the cart. First is Arydia, which I will back once they're getting closer to closing the PM in production. Same thing for Divinus. I'm hoping to hold out a bit and just grab it when I have the cash laying around. Last is Limbo Eeternal War 1.5. I'll be locking in this pledge as soon as possible. It's a bit more expensive, but it should be totally worth it. So what did I paint this month? Well, for the first time in these videos, I can finally say that I got some painting done. Nothing spectacular, but I was able to base coat the first month's minis for the Warhammer Imperium series. I used the airbrush on the Space Marines, and I base coated with a brush on the Necrons. I'll likely keep going this way through the whole series. I'm working on building some control with the airbrush, and I'm trying to see which method I prefer most. I really like using the airbrush, and it seems to be faster than the brush. My biggest challenge right now is getting the paint from the goofy Citadel pots to the airbrush cup. I used a little disposable dropper for it, but it's clogged now. I need to find a more permanent solution. You can find out more details in the upcoming Imperium video I'm working on now. So what did I play this month? Well, we finally got through with the house cleaning and the kittens are out of quarantine, so we had a touch more time to actually do things. We still have 2 adult cats in quarantine for another 3 weeks, but this month we were able to finish off the puzzle we'd been working on, and we glued it so we can hang it up on the wall. My guest bedroom needs something on the walls, and this is colorful enough to add some pop to them. June is going to be a fun month for games. My father-in-law is visiting, and we always play a ton of games when he's around. It will be lighter games, so I'm expecting Lords of Waterdeep. We'll probably break out Ankh for the first time, and I'm hoping to introduce him to Mansions of Madness. I've been itching to play more Mansions since our first game night with it. My wife and I are also working on finishing up the Cadence Theater season of Hunt-A-Killer. I believe we're halfway through and should finish before the father-in-law makes it here. The list of games I'm searching for really hasn't changed. I found a decent deal on an all-in for Bloodborne, but cash is a little tight, so I'm having to hold off on that. So the list currently sits at Stars of Akarios, Bloodborne, Conan, Hate, and the Robinson Crusoe Collector's Edition. Game room updates. This is a 2-parter. First, I got the Jupiter in, and the only place I really had to put it was the game room. Thankfully, it fit on the shelf in there perfectly, and I'm working on getting the print and cleanup station organized and efficient. I'm going to need to move some things around to get it exactly how I want, and I need a new ultrasonic cleaner because the old one bit the dust when we had a power surge. I have also started work on the last big project my wife asked for before I can begin working on our new game table. She asked for what has been dubbed the Kitty Highway, a way for the cats to get from our staircase into the home office without having to go through the dogs. So if you caught that I said I was ripping a hole in one of my walls in a recent video, I meant it. We're trying to make it look nice and presentable, so it'll have railings that sort of match our staircase. Hopefully it won't take too long, but I still have some time. I still need a jointer and a planer before I can begin full-fledged work on the game table. Those are must-have tools for milling wood, and I'll need them for the table. I also am going to be purchasing designs for the Wood Whisperer's game table to modify. He has a great table, and I'm hoping it could be the basis for mine. I'm wanting to have a raise and lower function for the vault similar to that of the Wormwood Prophecy table, but I'm going to be using electronic sit-stand desk actuators to actually get it to go up and down. There are a ton of various other features that will be built in as well. I'll be covering the whole process as I design and build it. So, on to the channel updates, and this is going to be a bit of a long one. This month, we blew past 400 subscribers. I can't believe how fast the channel's growing. I know there are channels that put out 2 videos and blow up well past 1,000 subs and such, but to me, this is totally unexpected. I started this channel with the thought that I might be ranting to me and my closest 3 friends who might take pity on me. The fact that all of you are watching and that my videos are helping is an amazing validation. I appreciate all the warm comments more than any of you will ever know. Just a warning, I'm going to go into a little bit of a YouTube deep dive for the next few minutes. You may already know all this, but I wanted to pull the curtain back a little for those who don't. Feel free to skip ahead a few minutes if you don't want to hear all this. So, YouTubers tend to be all about the subs publicly. That's the number you'll hear thrown around the most, but for YouTubers, it really isn't the most important. Much more important is the watched hours. When you start a YouTube channel, you get absolutely nothing in return for all those ads that they play around or even during your videos. I have no control over whether they play or not and how often they play. Small YouTubers get nothing for you watching them or clicking on them. You don't get any control over the ads or any return from them until you are approved for monetization. What that means is YouTube wants to see what your channel is about, make sure your content is in line with community guidelines, and they want to make sure that people are actually watching you before giving you anything in return. So this month I actually decided to take a look and see what my watched hours are at, and I was stunned to find them well over 1,500 public watch hours, which is just under halfway what I need to monetize the channel. They want 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours before they'll even consider you for monetization. So I was floored. 1,500 is huge and puts the channel on track to be just about there at the same time we get 1,000 subs. That's amazing. I don't make long videos, so these numbers are naturally going to move slower than channels that make half-hour or hour-long videos consistently. Now, I'm not going to get too extremely excited, as I'm sure someone will be laughing when they send out my $1 check for what my channel pulls in, but honestly, the fact that this channel could generate any income is not something that I would have expected. It's bonkers to think I might have a trickle of cash coming in to buy some of the filming equipment I want someday. All this to say, thank you to everyone watching so much and so often. Hopefully, if monetization does happen, I can use it to make the channel better for everyone watching. All of that kind of leads into my next point a bit. Being the little guy can be tough. It's hard to get your name out there and to get people to watch your content. It's even harder to get that content acknowledged by people in or around the industry. Many people stare warily at a new channel, wondering if they'll just disappear back into the nothingness soon. The fact is, many small channels just don't make it. They lose the drive to make content, keep to a schedule, or they find that they have way more passion for simply enjoying games rather than constantly talking about them or creating content for them. For me, this is more of a marathon than a sprint. I never expect things to happen quickly, and I tend to work better as an underdog anyhow. Perhaps there will come a time when I can actually preview a game or a prototype instead of just criticizing and ranting about what's found on the campaign page. Unboxing and reviews are coming, but maybe, just maybe, one day I'll be able to do those unboxings in a timely manner before the project is fully delivered. I mean, a guy can dream, right? Recently, a few creators posted some videos about their favorite smaller content creators on YouTube. They had some amazing suggestions, and a few of the channels were actually smaller and deserved to be recognized. This is a content space that is blowing up. There are new faces every day, and there's some amazing content creators out there. Keep discovering new people to watch and enjoy. There's truly a creator for every niche out there almost. And also, thank you to those many people who are throwing my name around in the comments. I watch videos like that to figure out what I can change or improve on my channel, and seeing my channel thrown around in the comments made my day, so I appreciate it. So how am I currently working to grow the channel? What are the goals for the next month? Without getting too completely nerdy here, I can tell you that Board Game Geek has been a huge boon to my channel. I post campaign guides on the pages for the respective games there, and I post all of my videos in a blog as well. In return, I can see that it's generating a lot of traffic for my channel, and it gets more views on my videos, which is what I'm working towards. There's something you can do that will be immensely helpful though. If you happen to run across one of my videos on Board Game Geek, hit the thumbs up or the like button for it, please. This helps my videos to be displayed on the game pages longer, and from time to time it helps get one on the front page. I'm also still working on getting into a good rhythm with social media. I'm not an avid Facebooker or Instagrammer, so learning it all and remembering to post is still pretty foreign to me. This month I'm going to be working to start posting 4 times a week minimum on Instagram. I want to set this goal to help develop a habit of doing it. We're almost at 100 followers on Instagram already, and I'm hoping I'll be able to see that bleed into more eyes on the YouTube channel eventually. The other thing I've been really working on is getting 3 videos out a week. It can be tough, but I seem to be developing a pretty good rhythm. To do this, I've been working hard on my organization a bit. I've started using Feedly to track updates on several industry sites and almost every Kickstarter I follow. And if I can figure it out, I'm going to get it to work with GameFound as well. I've also organized my email. I'm working on organizing my computer desktop and getting video template folders created and actual thumbnail templates made. These things have already begun to help speed up my process of making videos, and every little bump I can get helps. This month we've also opened our Discord server. So far we have around 20 people there, and I'm sure there'll be even more as they discover it. I don't mention it in every video simply because I don't want it to be so visible that spammers and griefers find their way on there. I'm glad to see it growing and some conversations starting to happen. Hopefully we can make it even more active and lively in the coming months. Coming up on the channel, we have several videos that have been waiting in the wings. The second part of my most anticipated upcoming campaigns for 2022 will be released sometime towards the end of June. I'm also working on the second episode of my Warhammer Imperium coverage in an updated format that'll hopefully be more interesting and entertaining. I'm working on an unboxing for Ankh and another game as well. We'll also be continuing our coverage of all the latest campaigns and news videos almost weekly from here on out. If there's a video or topic for a video you'd like to see done, let me know in the comments. I'm always open to new ideas. So what campaigns am I excited for that are still coming up this year? Well, I'll give you 2 this month. The first one's a bit controversial due to the poor app performance from the first release, but I'm excited for Sea of Legends to return to Kickstarter with their new expansion. They seem to be actively working on getting a better version of the app released, and I'm sure that by the time they're able to deliver the expansion, many of the kinks will be worked out. And next is the big one for me, Sankokushin. This game has so many Kingdom Death-like vibes that it's hard not to get excited about it. Not that it's a copy or anything of the sorts. I think it has a chance to define a new niche in the hobby, show us something we haven't seen before, and I'm expecting a great amount of innovation from it. I guess I'm banking on the potential. I think it's going to be huge, and for that reason, I can't wait to hear more about it soon. Well, that's it. We finally found an ending. It's definitely not the end, but it is an ending. Remember, you can always reach me in the comments, at the email linked in every video, or even better on our Discord server. Please consider joining us there. You'll find a link to the Discord and all of our social media accounts in the description for the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe or leave us a like and help us grow and reach more people. I'd love to have you as a part of our community. Thank you to everyone who watches, and we'll be back very soon with more board game coverage. Remember to play something fun tonight.